Pina, but you can call me Hex. I'm here in my craft room. The holidays are over and it's kind of time to figure out, oh, what am I gonna do for this new coming year? A lot of people are doing their videos saying like what their plans are gonna be. And really my big thing is once the holidays were over and everything kind of went back to normal, I realized I'm just not really happy with my craft room. There's a lot of things that I want to do. I have a bunch of events coming up, and so I really need to get a bunch of stuff done this year, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to plan it so everything kind of all works together. So I thought I would just show you really quick my craft room so you can see what I'm talking about and what we're working with. Okay, so let's take a look at my craft room. First thing is I have my Ravenclaw wreath that my bestie had another one of our friends make for me. I really, really love it. It just has a lot of cute little hidden things. So we're gonna come in, and part of the reason that I wanted to do this is just to show where I'm at. This is definitely gonna be a before. When I cleaned up after Christmas, I just realized that this room is a friggin' mess. And it's not nearly as cool as I want it to be. And all my little pack rat stuff is in here, but it's not like displayed. It doesn't like, it just feels like a bunch of stuff has been shoved in here rather than like, this is my favorite room that I want to spend all of my time in. Especially since, as you can see, I have my computer set up here with my sewing machine, because guess who works from home half the time? So when I have my work from home days, it's really, I just have to musical chairs everything around on my sewing table, and it's not great. It's not conductive to sewing. It's not my favorite. I really need to work on finding a new solution for this. Even my bookshelf area is a mess. There's just not enough space for everything that I need. These bookshelves, I've actually had them since college. You can kind of see back here, they're completely falling apart. They are just not sufficient at all for what I want to do. I have, yeah, all my stuff. And I want to be able to display my things and have this be like a nice area where I can come and knit or do my sewing and everything is great. My biggest thing though, my biggest shame is in here in my closet. Are you guys ready for this? This is my fabric stash. It is a complete and total rat's nest. It is just, it stresses me out to look at it. It really does. It just really, really kills. All of these are fabric. All of this is fabric. Randomness in there. And then if I come look on my other side, again, all of my craft stuff that I'm totally gonna use, you guys. So one of the things that I was really looking at when I was like, okay, I really need to update my craft room, was Marie Kondo. And her big thing is organizing is just moving your crap around. If you want to really clean, you need to get rid of your stuff. Which isn't really what I wanted to hear, because obviously I'm a little bit of a hoarder. But if I really want this space to be what I want, at minimum, I'm going to need to make my bookshelf nice, pretty, organized, streamlined. I'm going to have to get this into the closet somehow, which means that I'm going to have to consolidate these down. I need to get this fabric situation under control. So what I'm going to do, I think, is before I completely commit to Marie Kondoing my life, I'm going to focus on getting this used up. So that's my plan this year. I'm going to actually use all the stuff that I bought. I'm going to make my things, and I'm going to stop being so precious about my fabric. I have a lot of fabric in here that I've just kind of said, oh no, I'm waiting for like the perfect pattern, or I'm waiting until I lose weight before I sew with it. And that is out the door this year. This stuff just needs to get done. So as I said, I'm going to be going through my fabric stash, and I'm going to actually be using stuff and not saving it for some far off date or the perfect outfit or whatever. I have had this black suiting in my stash, 3-4 years now, because I was going to make a really nice work dress that I could wear to the office, and I just needed to lose 5 more pounds and then it was going to be amazing. But as you know, the world doesn't work like that. I have gone to working from home half time. You know, I don't know if it was the holidays or just finally everything on the pandemic catching up with me, but I have gained a little bit of weight. So I think what I'm going to do is make some pants. I have an event coming up that I think it would be really fun to have some vintage, like early 1940s pants, just very comfy, but also a nice line, so that they look nice and elegant, but they fit me super comfy. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to make these into pants so that they actually fit me now that I'm a little bit bigger than I used to be. So for my event tomorrow, I'm going to make a pair of the Lucille trousers from Gertie's Patreon. I made a pair of these last year, but they don't quite zip up in the back. So I am going to do a new pair. Last year when I did a size 10 and I made a million adjustments and it took me forever. What I think I'm going to do this year is I'm going to just go a straight size 12. And the only adjustment that I'm going to make is taking out some space in the inseam. So real quick on putting pockets in pants. Instead of doing like building a pocket and just sliding it into the seam, you really need to take the front of the pant and kind of break it into sections. So this is actually going to be the front part of the pant that you see. And then we have the pocket. So this is what's actually going to like hold this stuff. And then you're going to have the front of the pants that goes here and matches this. So these will be connected, and then this will be, so when you look at this, it'll look like one front of the pant, but this is actually a whole separate piece, and then this is where you use your pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and put these together on both sides of the front, so then I can get these assembled. So now I have done my understitching on my pocket bag. So when we fold it to the right side, everything will lay flat. We'll get it nice, and then there is the finished inside pocket, and then I just got to put the back on it. So you saw me do the trouser front, and I've just done the back, interfaced where the zipper is going, and then put in a shaping dart. So now we're ready to construct the pants. When you're making pants, you're doing like making one whole leg at a time. So here's the back, and then I'm gonna find the corresponding front piece and match it down. Make sure everything lines up. So you'll see right here, this is like the crotch seaming. That's gonna line up here. And then on this side, just want to make sure everything's laying nice and flat. Make sure the pocket is nice and flat. And that's gonna go that way. So I'm just gonna sew those down, both sides of the pants. I'm gonna leave the crotch part open for right now. And then I'm basically gonna end up with like 2 big tubes. All right, I got 2 tubes. So my pant legs are here individually. So now all that's left is to sew them together. I'm gonna sew along this big U right here, the big crotch seam. I'm gonna go all the way up to here because this is where I'm gonna put the zipper in. So once I get the crotches sewn together, these will actually look like pants instead of cool leg tubes like I have now. All right, and there we have it. I sewed the middle crotch seam, and now I have pants. I know, it's like magic. So now I really just need to put on the waistband and the closures and get it hemmed. And it's not yet 3 o'clock, and I think I might actually get this done on time. Okay, they are just about done. I got my waistband in. I didn't hand stitch it down. I did a machine stitch. It wasn't awesome, but close enough for tonight. I can always go back and fix it if I want to. Same deal. I didn't have any black zippers, so I had to use a white one. Hopefully it stays hidden enough in my lap to zipper. Again, this was a stash buster project, so I'm going to try to not stress about it. But it is, you know, 4:30, so I have about 30 minutes now to finish up and get dressed. I did a blind hem stitch on here with my blind hem foot on my sewing machine. It's not my favorite. I really prefer to do this by hand, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. So all that's left is to put a little hook and eye on here, and this is 100% done. All right, so here are my one-day Stash Buster pants. All in all, I gotta say I'm pretty proud of them. I did not purchase anything new for these pants. Everything came out of my stash, from the interfacing to the pocket linings, everything. Although I will say my stash was legit busted. It legit busted out of my closet and all over onto the floor. So that's the thing I'm gonna have to work on. But I can't really complain because these pants came together really well. They are super comfy. I was able to squat and climb and look under things and look for clues, and we escaped from our escape room, so can't really complain. And they're actually really comfy. So I think I'm gonna just clean them up a little bit, and then I'm going to incorporate them into my regular wardrobe. Hey, thanks for following along on my pants adventure. It certainly was exhilarating to make a pair of pants in less than 1 day. I've definitely never made as complicated a garment in that amount of time before. But at the same time, it was actually very inspiring for me. So much of the fabric and materials that I have in my stash, I have them there because I was waiting for the perfect time or the perfect thing to use them on. And I've been afraid to cut into the fabric because what if I have a better idea later? Or what if I actually lose a couple of pounds and then I need it in a smaller size? Um, or I get a better idea for how this can go together with something else. So this has really kind of freed me from that a little bit, where now I'm actually ready, I think, to start using all of the things that I have been saving. And, you know, every time I bought a piece of fabric, every time I bought beads or pipe cleaners or anything, it's always with some kind of plan in mind for what I was going to do with it. And then something has always gotten in the way. And in the meantime, I've allowed myself to get into my own head and give myself excuses for why I can't do that thing now, or why I should save it for something later that may be better. And now I think this is just going to be my year where instead of saving these things for something special, is I'm going to make this my year of making special. So everything that I'm going to do this year is going to be focused on getting through all of this backlog, getting these things used, and instead of waiting for some future thing, I'm going to just make things, and I'm going to create events to wear these things to, and I'm going to make this a special year where I can feel justified and happy in the things that I'm making and the things that I am creating for myself and for my friends. So that way I can finally feel like the weight of this stash is being lifted from me. And I'm really, really hoping that at the end of the year, I have a bunch of beautiful things to show and to share. And I just want to thank you for following along while I am on this crazy, crazy journey. Thanks.